Watch someone pay for something. Not you, someone else. In line, ahead of you, at a register you're not even really looking at. Card comes out, taps the little symbol. Green light, done. 1 second, maybe 2. Visa's own numbers put a contactless tap at 1 to 2 seconds, about 10 times faster than the same transaction in cash, which averages somewhere north of 30. They market this as convenience, which it is. It is also structurally an anesthetic. More on that in a minute. Here's the number nobody tells you at checkout. In Washington state, minimum wage sits at $17.35 an hour this year. Take out the usual bite, payroll tax, withholding, call it 22%. Illustrative, your mileage varies by state and situation, and you're clearing something like $13.35 an hour. Actual spendable money, the kind that leaves your account and doesn't come back. $10 of that is 45 minutes. 45 minutes of standing, lifting, smiling at people, whatever the job requires of a body for 1 hour. Divided down to the $10 unit. That's the exchange rate. Your time, converted. And the tap took 2 seconds. I want to sit in that gap for a second because it's the whole video, honestly. 45 minutes in, 2 seconds out. Nobody built that ratio by accident. And I'll get to who built it. But first, the part that's stranger than the math. Your brain doesn't do the math. Try it yourself sometime. Pull up last month's statement and pick any charge under $15. Coffee, an app, whatever. You paid it. You could not tell me without checking what day. That's not a memory problem. That's the point working correctly. Back in 2001, 2 MIT researchers, Prelec and Simester, ran a real auction to find out why. Tickets to a Celtics game, actual money, actual bidders. Half the room was told they'd pay cash if they won. Half was told credit card. Same tickets, same room. The credit card bidders bid up to 100% higher. Twice the money for identical seats because of what was in their hand when the number came due. They called it the coupling effect. Cash leaves your hand at the same moment the thing arrives in it, so you feel the trade happen. A card breaks the coupling. The thing arrives now. The cost arrives later on a statement as a number among other numbers, already abstracted from the 45 minutes it once was. So the 2 seconds isn't just fast, it's short, conveniently short. Short enough that whatever your nervous system does with a loss doesn't have time to finish doing it. Closer to how a local anesthetic works than a metaphor should be allowed to be. Not removing the nerve, just outrunning the signal before it lands. Now, who benefits from you not feeling it? Once you notice that companies profit whenever payment feels effortless, subscriptions stop looking like a separate business. They're the same idea, just stretched over time instead of compressed into 2 seconds. Subscriptions are the cleanest version. The FTC's own language when they finalized their negative option rule in 2024 was blunt about it. They receive thousands of complaints a year about recurring charges, and that number has been climbing for 5 straight years running. The rule, click to cancel they called it, cancel as easily as you signed up, got vacated by an appeals court in mid-2025 on a technicality, a procedural foot fault, nothing to do with whether the problem was real. The FTC is already rewriting it because the underlying behavior never needed the rule to exist. Sign up, 1 tap, 2 seconds, dopamine intact. Cancellation? A phone tree, a retention offer, a support email that takes 4 business days to answer. Same company, 2 completely different clocks, running at 2 completely different speeds, and only one of them was ever designed for your convenience. That's the part that isn't decorative. It's structural. The friction was always going to live somewhere. It's just never on the side that makes the money. Here's the part that made me sit back a little. 45 minutes assumes $17.13 an hour. Federal minimum wage? The floor underneath a real number of the people tapping their card next to you in that line is $7.25. Set in 2009, never adjusted since, not once, the longest stretch without a federal increase since the law existed at all, back to 1938. At that wage, after the same illustrative bite, $10 isn't 45 minutes. It's closer to double. And the checkout terminal does not know this. It cannot know this. It runs the same 2-second animation for a wage of $7.25 as it does for the median in this country, which the Bureau of Labor Statistics puts around $24.50. The transaction was never measuring your labor. It only ever looked like it was. What it's actually measuring is how long it takes a green light to turn on. Which is, if you want the mechanism in one sentence, the entire payment industry optimized for speed, and speed turned out to be the same thing as forgetting. I don't think the answer is carrying cash again, though it would work, weirdly. That coupling effect is real, physical, doesn't care about your intentions, only about the object leaving your hand. I think the actual answer is smaller and dumber than that. Before the tap, not after, before. Translate it. Not $10, 45 minutes, standing, doing the job, whatever the job is. It won't stop you from buying it. It just means you'll feel it land, for once, instead of finding out 3 weeks later on a statement that you can't quite reconstruct. Where did that go? When did I agree to that? Was that even me? Do that math on one purchase and it's almost cute. A minor correction, do it on the 20-30 taps a month that actually happen. The coffee, the delivery fee, the just $2 more, the subscription you forgot existed until this sentence, and you're not looking at a spending habit anymore. You're looking at a chunk of a finite number of working hours you will have in your life, quietly reassigned to companies that never had to ask, because asking would have taken longer than 2 seconds and cost them the sale. Nobody sat you down and told you the rate. You just noticed the light kept turning green.